Hey guys, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Today I want to talk about my little fire truck. So this is a Japanese fire truck and it's a Daihatsu Hijet is the base truck platform, and most of these will have little dump beds or at least a flatbed on the back of them. This one obviously is outfitted as a fire truck. So I'm going to do a walk around, show you some features and specs of it, and then I'll have other videos out later that have it in action, the fire hose, fire pump in action, that kind of stuff. But so I just got this a couple weeks ago. There's a local guy that imports them. He's been doing it for 3 or 4 years. It's Doug'sTrucks.com, but he gets them by the dozen. So from Japan, and then they show up on a semi truck and he offloads them. But when they come from Japan, the fire trucks do not have any of their accessories. So it comes without ladders, without the tools, without any of the water pumps or the tank, this hoses. But it does come with all the lights, and it has sirens and a loudspeaker. So it came with all that stuff. So what I did recently in the past 2 weeks was I bought some of this other stuff to add to it. I'll go through that in a second. But basically the truck platform is just the Hijet. It's a 660cc engine, makes about 50 horsepower. And just to give you an idea of size, it's about 11 feet long and then about 5 feet wide. So it's certainly a small vehicle. It's smaller than any kind of American truck. Even like a small like Chevy S10 is going to be bigger than this. But the inside, the cabin's actually quite spacious, and it's because your feet basically touch the front bumper. I mean, your feet are right underneath these headlights, so they use every bit of space, and the engine is actually in the middle. So if you see it here, the engine is actually down here in the middle. So it's mid-engine for the Hijet, and then it has a transmission and a high-low transfer case on here that's actually rear of middle, and then the gas tank is all the way in the back. So here on the inside we have the high and low for the transfer case. We have a 5-speed manual transmission, and then here you can see this is the setup for the sirens and loudspeaker. I can press these different buttons. This one's a siren, that one is the bells I play when coming up. This turns it off. I don't know what these buttons do. I need to play with them and see what they do exactly. Oh, I guess I haven't really played with this, but I'm assuming this is maybe my volume for my loudspeaker. I've been meaning to play with that some. Up here are some of the other lights. These are like the rear red flashing lights, and then these 2 lights are the accessory lights for this one, and this actually goes up. So you slide this up like this and then locks it in place, and then this guy you can rotate around and point at wherever light you need. So that's kind of a cool thing. And then this other one is another one here. So this one also raises up and comes off, and it has its own local switch as well. So it has lots of cool features there. And then, the yellow one is just that center yellow light. I think they have Japanese words on there. Typically they took them off when they exported it. Okay, other than that, the inside's pretty basic. It does have a standard radio. This was like a coin holder, or I don't even know what this thing is here. And then this is their CB radio, basically for them to talk back to the fire station. So obviously I don't have much of a use for that here. Other than that, this interior is pretty basic. Instrumentations are very basic, not much to go there. Here is 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive. It's electronic to knock it into 2-wheel drive. So now some cool things here to get access to underneath. We do this right here. All right, so this is how you access. You can see the engine is behind the passengers. Your radiator is right here, right underneath the driver and passenger seat. It's kind of crazy. But so you have coolant, you can check radiator, you can add oil here, you can check your belts. You can see the center differential and half shafts up there. So that's on this side. Lock all that back in place. All right, let's go to the driver's side. And the driver's side obviously is on the wrong side of the road for America. Side note, if you like these things, I got a van. I'll do one of those later. All right, so now on this side I can do something similar to the driver's seat. All right, I got to slide it back. That's how short I am. All right, so here we go. So here we got a fuse box. We have the jack, and then you can see the engine. And you see how crooked it is. That's the oil pan there, laying down, you know, at an angle. So that's what you have there for access to stuff. All right, you can see the pedals. It is pretty tight spacing in there, but it's workable. One neat thing I'll show this now. I'm an engineer and I do vehicle dynamics, so it's interesting to me at least. But underneath here, the suspension. This arm here is a leading arm for the suspension, so it attaches right to the front of the frame. And then what you see down here, this is the steering rack. Normally a steering rack would have would be completely perpendicular in the car, and each side would have a tie rod that goes there. This doesn't have that. Since your steering rack is so far forward, they have it go to a linkage, and that linkage then actually goes to each side of the truck. So that's really interesting to me, at least. All right, on the fire engine specific ones, this is a unique badge or emblem they put on it. And then most of them, you can kind of see it here a little bit, maybe. I don't know if it shows up in the camera, but they have decals on here, obviously, for the fire trucks that they put on. In the back, we have a seat. So this seat actually folds up as well. See, yeah, it folds forward. It's kind of hard to do, but it picks up, and there's another storage in the center in addition to this one. And it has seat belts and whatnot. This obviously is all part of the add-on for the fire setup, and then the aluminum grate there on top as well. So the Japanese ones do have a ladder here. They have this little lock mechanism here that unlocks it and holds them in. I didn't have that ladder either, so I just bought a cheap one a used one on Facebook Marketplace to throw in there. I bought some tools real quick from Harbor Freight just to give me some designs. The Japanese ones have actually these connectors down here are for the hose nozzles. They have different size and shapes nozzles that clip into here, and then I took off some of their little clamps that they snap into place there. So they typically don't have these tools here. I added that. And then up here, they have wooden handle with like an axe and a pick, and I forget what else that kind of clips into here. But I wasn't too worried about being 100% authentic. This is just a toy for me to play with, so I wanted something that kind of looked cool and was easy to get to obtain. So the same thing goes true for back here, where it does come with a gas water pump over in Japan. And so these are not tankers. They only pump the water. So there's no tank in this in Japan. Instead, they have access to water cisterns throughout the city or town, or some other water source, be it a pond or whatever else, a lake, the ocean maybe. And they pump the water. So those guys are really expensive, and again, they take it off when they export them from the country, so I just get this thing empty. But it has a metal frame here that has a pin that comes out, and this slides out on the rollers, so you could access it or whatnot. It actually was really neat because they have an intake and exhaust pipe that's integrated in there so that it all gets ducted out, and you don't have exhaust coming out like mine right here comes out right at me. But anyways, I wanted something that was able to pump a lot of water, so I thought it'd be cool. So I got this 2-inch semi-trash water pump, and this I just bought from like a Roll King farm and fleet type store. And so it has an intake and an exit, and I have my my fire hose up here. And then for the tank itself, this is like a UTV water sprayer, and it's a 40-gallon tank, and it has a little 12-volt electric pump that has this little sprayer And so I can use this obviously to actually spray, herbicide and that kind of stuff if I need it. I can also just, like I did here, is I actually just pumped water with this gas thing from my pond into here, so I had a bunch of water to spray and play with. But I could also use it actually for something purposeful and do that. Back here, the rear axle, it's a solid axle back here with leaf springs. I guess better to see from the other side. All right, so obviously a little dinky guy here with little tiny leaf springs, little tiny wheels and tires. These are Japanese sizes, so it's not our stereotypical, but it says 145 R12C. So 145, I'm pretty sure, is the width of that in millimeters. RC, I assume, is 12-inch diameter. Looks about right for that size wheel. I'm not sure the overall diameter, but definitely pretty small. So then you have your fuel filler cap there, and the fuel tank, like I said, is all behind the rear axle, so it's the rear thing. So maybe not the best for rear impacts, but that's about it for the base truck frame. As far as capability go, this guy, I haven't topped it out, certainly. It's not road legal, so I haven't taken it on the street, but about 60 miles per hour is what I hear, maybe 65, 70 top speed, but obviously they're geared low, so you're really screaming that little 660cc engine that's pumping out 50 horsepowers hard. And so that's the capability there. This does not have power steering on this one, and it doesn't have AC. So this one is more of a basic, this is like a work truck over there in Japan, so they try to keep the cost down for it. So hopefully you like this video. I'm going to do some action videos with this guy, probably bonfires, putting out the fire. We'll see how good this water hose and everything is, and then I'll have some other fun things with it. Probably take it to parade and car shows and whatnot. But if you have any ideas of things you want to see in action or questions I didn't answer for you, I am going to try to make it street legal, but it's kind of hard to get that done, so I'll see what I can figure out there. I do have my little micro van I'll cover as well in a separate video. So if you enjoyed this video, do like it right down below, and obviously subscribe to my channel as well if you want to see more. That really helps the channel grow and lets me know that you guys enjoy this content. So take care, and thanks for watching.